I'm an Emmy Award-winning camera operator with over 20 years experience at the highest network level. I've shot Super Bowls, Kentucky Derbies, Olympics, and even WrestleManias. I'm your host, Howie Zales, and I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur until recently, even though I own 3 television production businesses. Are you afraid to start your own business? Are you struggling? Do your friends and family not understand what you do? The Unexpected Entrepreneur Show will share stories and inspire people with the entrepreneurial bug to take that daunting leap. Welcome to the show. How did you get into this?
It was super unexpected. That's why I love the title of the show.
I say, man, if they can do it, I can do it.
I got to figure out how to spell that damn word if I'm going to be calling myself an entrepreneur.
I still can't. It's so funny.
My father was selling knishes and sold my mom a knish.
That's amazing. What a sale.
You had red hair for about the first 20 minutes I knew you, and then it went gray.
Welcome to the Unexpected Entrepreneur Show. Today, my guest is Sharon Ryan. Sharon started Country Communications in 2022 to help strategic and creative communication and marketing solutions for small businesses, startups, and non-for-profits and municipalities, to help solopreneurs and people with a side hustle. Welcome to the Unexpected Entrepreneur Show, Sharon.
Thanks, Howie, for having me. It's a pleasure being here with a fellow SUNY Plattsburgh grad.
Same here, same here. So what did you go to college for?
I went to college for mass communications. I was involved in the PSTV program at SUNY Plattsburgh, and really thought that when I graduated from Plattsburgh, I wanted to be the next, Katie Couric or Jane Pauley, a host of some TV show or a reporter, and started out on that path, but obviously changed. And here I am now talking with you about being an entrepreneur. Who knew?
So your business is all about marketing. How did you get into the marketing field coming from television?
Sure. Yeah. My business is, marketing, communications, both internal and external, which really looks like public relations. And that it all kind of snowballed throughout my career. It started when I was reporting and, fine-tuned my, communication skills there. And then I went on as a public relations officer for the Department of Environmental Conservation. And then the last 15 years of my career, I have been in marketing, in communications and public relations and development, and just really fine-tuned my skills there and developed a expansive expertise in marketing, and really became a generalist of everything. Back then in marketing, there wasn't a lot of the social media. So really grew up with the social media and learned, all the how important strategic planning is in not just marketing, but also your overall communications plan for an organization or for a business. It's very, it's crucial to have that, to know, who your ideal stakeholder is, or client or customer. And I just love all of that. I love, connecting with people. That's, really why I do what I do. And I just love being able to help people with their solutions and do it it's strategically, and know that everybody has, something specific and different needs for everyone.
So you started your business, Country Communications. Is there a significance or a meaning behind the name of the business?
Yeah, it's deeply rooted in who I am. And if people look at my website, countrycommunications.net, and they go to my blog, From the Tractor Seat, it's all very tied in. And it's because I grew up on a dairy farm in upstate New York, in a little farming town called Charlton. And it really, speaks to who I am as a person. I'm very, have a work ethic. There's, nothing that I won't do. And, also growing up on a farm, I, learned from both my mom and dad how important it was to give back to the community, how important it was to make a difference and just see if there's somebody, someplace, or something I can make a difference in, that I can do that. And just really, growing up there just instilled those values in me. And growing up and being in organizations such as 4-H and being involved in my church, that also really made a lasting impression on who I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what led you to start your business this year?
It's always an interesting story, right, on how people end up starting their businesses. But and I didn't know that I was going to start this, and it was a very slow process. I feel maybe for some people it was a fast process, because it is for many years something that they think about. But in 2022, I found myself not quite happy in what I was doing as a job. And it was in the midst of the pandemic, in an industry that was hit pretty hard by the pandemic. And I thought, there's got to be something more. I want to be passionate about what I'm doing. And I saw some of my friends who were business owners and entrepreneurs that were struggling. So I started helping them out in what I could, in what I was good at, and saw that was making a difference. And so I just very quietly kind of started doing something in the background, put a website together, put some social media together, put some collateral that I could market myself as Country Communications, but really did nothing more than that. And then I found myself in August of 2021, last year, without a job. So I thought, okay, here's that leap of faith. Like you said in the beginning, Howie, you got to do it. So I sort of did it and started it as a side hustle, still looking for a 9-to-5 job, because there were other things going on in my life that needed my attention and needed me to be there, instead of, I knew I couldn't launch the business as a full-time business at that point in time. And then, things happened over the next few months. And then I found myself in January, I said, this is my chance. I've got to do it. 2022 is going to be a huge year for me. So why not? And here I am. I've launched my business, Country Communications, full-time, and I'm just going to do this.
Awesome, man. And I'm sure and know you'll do an awesome job and be super successful.
Thank you. I'm super excited. Yes, absolutely. Working with some great clients right now that I'm really excited, and things are, they're different clients. So it's really interesting when you have, a variety of folks that you're working with and a variety of things that you're doing with them. It's great knowing that, hey, after 25 plus years working in the 9-to-5 sector, here you are working for yourself. And you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, and people are looking to you as the expert, and you can show them what are really good, ways to go for them, and examples of how they can better do what they're doing.
So what exactly does Country Communications do for its clients?
Sure. Like you said in the beginning, there are, a few main things that I do. Help with strategic communications. If a company or a business is looking to put together, a plan of how they want to structure. If they're, a new business starting out and they want to try to put a plan in place on how they want to reach out to their ideal customer, I can help them with that. And that means everything from branding, their logos, their colors, how they want to present themselves as a voice out there. I can help them with all of that. I can help them figure out, what social media platforms they want to be on, because sometimes not every single social media platform is what you want to be on. Putting together, website ideas, any other collateral that they want to put together, whether they're brick and mortar or whether they're e-commerce or whether they're just website based. That whole communications plan is important. Or if they're, already an established business and they want to revisit that and put together some kind of 5-year strategic planning, I can help with that as well. I can help with ongoing marketing efforts as well. Anything they do need to do monthly, I can help with that. I can also help with internal communications if it's a larger size company that needs HR communications with their employees, whether it's
Right.
recruitment retention. I've had a lot of experience with that as well. So it's a multifaceted service that I can provide for those, like I said before, nonprofits, municipalities, small businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs.
How has marketing changed from when you first started till now?
It's changed tremendously. Back when I started, it was, all of the the tried and true channels. It was, you had to do TV, you had to do radio, you had to do billboards, you had to do print, right? And all of those cost a lot of money. Now,
Right.
social media has changed everything. Digital has changed everything. Streaming platforms, your Spotify's, your Apple iPlay, all of those have changed how you approach marketing, because one, it is your ROI, your return on investment is much lower, because the price points on those new platforms are much lower than,
Mhm.
having to pay media for an advertising run on TV or radio than it is for something like that. Plus, you can do organic reach on a lot of those platforms, which is just amazing. And how it changes every day. This thing that everybody says now, algorithms, they change every day. And, what was different 10 years ago to today changes exponentially year by year.
Yeah, one of the things that our company does for clients is, because the algorithms change, is
Mm.
we create web presence and actual quote TV networks for clients, but on the
Mm-hmm.
internet. So that way
Yeah.
everyone owns their own content, control of their own advertisement, not relying on social media on who to show it to and what they're showed.
Right. That's what I tell people, because, they depend so much on platforms like Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. But that's space that you're renting. You don't own that. You don't have a right to that. You own your website, right? So when they change policies and algorithms and other things on those platforms, you have to abide by that. And
Right.
we're seeing that with the bigger picture and a bigger conversation with cancel culture, right? You're seeing people saying, okay, I want so and so off of Spotify because I don't like what they're saying. Well, sometimes you don't have, you know you can't say no, and you can be kicked off. But your website, you have, and you have that, and that's what you own. And I have, many people say that they just want to start with social media, they don't want a website.
Right.
But I, encourage people, saying your website is who you are. That's your landing spot.
Exactly.
That's what you want to start with, your website, and then go from there. That's where all your information is, and that's who and how people are going to get to know you.
Yeah, because like if you post your content on YouTube, it's associated with an ad that you may not want to be associated with. But if you house everything in on your own network or your own website, your own web presence, you control who sees what and what you're showing them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, yeah. Now, what advice, would you offer someone just starting out on what to do and how to get started? What should they do first, second, or third?
When they're starting out with marketing, Howard?
Like whether where they're starting out marketing.
Sure. I would say the most important thing is to know who you are, know who you are as a business. So if that is branding, it's not knowing what your logo is going to look like. It is knowing who you are reaching. Who is your ideal customer, your ideal reach, your avatar. Because if your logo can be the most beautiful thing in the world, but if you don't know who your focus is going to be, then that is just just a waste. So the most important thing is to make sure you do that deep dive into knowing who you are, who you're doing it for, what your mission is, what your vision is, and really get clear on that, and then start with the others. What you want, your services to be, what you want your look to be, and how what is it that you're doing, and how can you is it what service are you offering, and how can you fix, or how can you make
Right.
somebody else's life better with that? That's what you're trying to do for your customer.
Great advice. Um,
Yeah.
why should someone hire your company as opposed to, or why should a business hire your company as opposed to hiring a full-time person to do the marketing?
Sure. I think that's a great question, Howie, and thank you for asking that. It is a great way to, one, because I've been doing this for 25 years, and it's something that I love to do, and it's natural. But when you go with somebody who is consulting, especially now, we're seeing everybody's talking about the Great Resignation, and people are working from home. You've got somebody who companies are having to scale back, and when you work with somebody who is a consultant, you don't necessarily have to pay those extra that you usually do, your benefits,
Right.
other things like that. So that's, one thing that really can help some companies as well. But also, it's a great way to keep an ongoing connection, in having somebody, I'm always going to do what is the best for your company, because I'm going to want to keep you as a customer. I want to keep you happy. And I'm going to totally relate this back to the farm. And like I said, it's going back to country communications, but it's something my dad and my grandfather taught me about how to treat the cows. Of course, they're going to treat the cows wonderfully because they are their partner in business, right?
Right.
They depend on them for their livelihood. So I'm going to treat my client wonderfully because I depend on them for my livelihood. And that is, a great reason why, though, to go to a consultant, especially in this area, because you always have to learn, and you're always giving some great advice, hopefully, to your customers, and helping them with what they need. And I know I'm dealing with many different clients, so what I learned from one industry, I can always pass on to another.
Awesome. Awesome. So,
Yeah.
the title of the show is The Unexpected Entrepreneur.
Mm.
I never saw myself as an entrepreneur until I made a mindset change, and my wife helped me do that.
Hmm.
When did you start to see yourself as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, and I alluded to this earlier, Howie. I started seeing myself as the full-time entrepreneur really in the last few months. I had lost my job in August. Excuse, my earbuds keep popping out here. I lost my When I lost my job in August, I went to the part-time, really looking at that as what I was going to do. I was going to still look for a 9 to 5 job, because I was at that point in time also taking care of my mom. My mom lived with myself and my 2 children, and she had for the past 16 years after my ex-husband and I had gotten divorced, and she was such a staple in our lives for all those years. And 10 years previously, she had been diagnosed with COPD, but in 2021, she had been in and out of the hospital 6 times. So we knew that her condition was worsening. And then in August, just a couple days before I had lost my job, she went back in the hospital, and soon after came home and realized that she could not take care of herself, that she needed full-time care. So I am so, like I said before, things happen for a reason. I am so thankful that I was able to be home and be with her and take care of her, because I feel very strongly that is, I was honored to do that for my mom, that I was able to be there and spend that time with her, take care of my mom and honor her in that way. Because just a few weeks later, she went back to the hospital, came back home, and we were talking, and came back home on hospice, and we thought, my mom had months, maybe weeks. We thought we had a while to have time
Right.
home with my mom, but in unexpectedly, we only had a day and a half, and she passed on October 2nd. And like I said, I don't think I would have slowed down to be there with her. I am so grateful that I was actually there with her. It was just the two of us, holding her hand, just laying down with her when she passed. It was beautiful, and I would never change anything. It was
The universe
a
has a way of
time.
lining things up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. My daughter got home from college just hours before. I swear my mom was waiting for Molly to get home.
Yeah.
Um, and Jack was there the whole time, and he was able to be there with mom and talk to her before, she couldn't talk to anybody. Um, so, so that's really kind of what was the catalyst. I was slowed down a little bit.
Right.
And I'm glad I was. And then, I was kind of afloat for a little while after the loss of my mom, going through the holidays. There was Thanksgiving, and then a week later, her birthday, and then Christmas. And during that whole time, I was sad, absolutely. But, I had some great friends that I talked to. I talked to my children, and they're all telling me the same thing. Yeah, Sharon, you need to do this. This is something we think you need to do and you can do. And that's when I made the decision, at the end of December, I'm going to do this. Starting January, I'm going to launch it full time. I already had 2 clients that were, I was working with, and I knew that this was what I was going to continue to do, and I did.
That's great. It's amazing how the
Yeah.
universe lines up. And so, did you have, we're the same age. So, did you have
Mm-hmm.
fears at changing, pivoting at our age?
It's funny you should ask that. Absolutely. I alluded to this also before, that 2022 was going to be a big year, right? Figuring out what I was going to do going into 2022, not having mom around anymore. Both my kids graduating this year. My son from high school, Jack's going to graduate. Molly from college. And then I'm going to turn the big 50, right? So what am I going to do? And then I started this business. So this is huge, right? We're kind of completely changing my life. But I'm so I have so much faith in God, in talking to Him, that when I do have moments of maybe stress and questioning myself, I do go to Him, and I haven't felt overwhelming, um, you know, questioning on this, or what am I doing, or
That's great.
scared that I'm doing this. Maybe not yet, because I just really feel this is, I continue to ask God, if this is your will, show me the way, uh, and you know continue to listen to what He has to say, because through all this with my mom, I really feel this is, like we just said, things happen for a reason. And I think He's just been setting things up for me. Uh, and me losing my job was kind of Him kicking me, saying, Sharon, wake up.
Right.
This is something, So yeah, I really haven't had any kind of panic moments. Maybe some moments where I felt like, okay, I'm frustrated, or, oh boy, what am I doing? But I just, go back into prayer and say, okay, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, then,
Right.
you know, I'm going to continue to do it, and yeah, and listen to what you have to say.
Um, is there anything that you wish you would have known back in 1994 when we graduated college that you know today? Like, what would you go back and tell younger Sharon?
What would I tell younger Sharon? I would have told younger Sharon that I probably could have done what I'm doing now then. Yeah,
Great advice.
I would have told younger Sharon that, that not have had the fear, have more faith in not only myself, but also in God. That journey has been a long journey for me as well. And I just, if I could have done this sooner, I absolutely would have. Yeah.
Do you have business coaches, mentors, anything like that?
I absolutely do. I have a business coach who is phenomenal, and I love her. Her name is Miranda von Fricken. She is here on LinkedIn. She is wonderful. Miranda has helped me tremendously. I definitely questioned myself in my career before even thinking about starting a business, and she was helping me there. And then, as I grew into this business, she helped guide me with that. We had some wonderful mastermind classes, and she's just extremely supportive, has some great ideas, but also says, kind of kicks me in the butt and says, come on, Sharon, you got to have, holds me accountable. And then I have, two wonderful friends that have been so extremely supportive and very wise in their opinion. My friend Susan and my friend Lisa have been absolutely wonderful. And believe it or not, my two kids, Molly and Jack, while I said to them, okay, guys, this is what I'm doing, and things might not look like they always have at home, they said, okay, go for it, Mom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how can our audience, if they want to hire you in country communications, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely, Howie. They can go to countrycommunications.net. They can reach me there. They could also reach me on Facebook. I'm on their Facebook Country Communications. I have a Calendly and set up an appointment that way. I have a free half-hour call that we can talk and see what your needs might be and if we might be a good fit and how I can help. And those are the best ways to reach me.
Excellent. We'll put all those in the show notes for our audience to access.
Great.
Sharon, thank you so much for joining us today. We really, really appreciate it. And we're honored you took the time out of your schedule to join us.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Howie. I love this, and thank you for everybody who's watching, and hope to hear from folks, and have a great day.
You too, Sharon. Thank you again.
Thanks.
So today's show, The Unexpected Entrepreneur, with guest Sharon Holbrook-Ryan, has been brought to you by the team at Veridity Entertainment Services, VES. Contact the team at VES for any live stream, hybrid, or event planning services. For any web design or content delivery, check out VES and this ad.
Why let any social media platform control the ads on your content? Constantly evolving algorithm changes can have a huge negative impact on your following. All you need is your own content network, and Veridity Entertainment Services, VES, can help you create that. Content delivery has never been so easy and powerful. Our state-of-the-art technology can help you create an amazing private labeled experience. We create virtual or hybrid events and corporate meetings with guests from around the world to take your content to the next level. Control, elevate, and own your own content.
Let the team at VES help you control, elevate, and own your own content. Contact them, and they'll be happy to help. Again, thank you to our guest, Sharon Holbrook-Ryan, for today. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great day.